यथाकाशो हृषीकेशो नानोपाधिगतो विभुः तद्भेदाद् भिन्नवद्भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत् यथाकाशो हृषीकेशो नानोपाधिगतो विभुः तद्भेदाद् भिन्नवद्भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत्. Another metaphor, like the all-pervading space, the all-pervading reality appears to be diverse on account of its association with the various upadhis, the various equipments, and becomes one on the destruction. The moment these conditioning elements, or the upadhis as he calls, when they are destroyed, what happens? You get back the original nature. So everything appears diverse because of its association with the various equipments. Again, it is not different in concept, but it repeats. And what you achieve through repetition is something will stick. Hopefully, what I have seen through the process of being with classrooms is nothing sticks. You're always stick proof. Stick proof, ningalame. So 2 months down the road, if I say this, it will be very fresh. Thanks to the apohanam in you all, I have a permanent job. Apohanam is forgetfulness, because you don't remember what he said. So every time I say something, how you all are, oh my God, so nice, isn't it? Because you don't register what is said. Imagine everything that is said is registered and remembered, because my knowledge is limited. I'll be very soon jobless. So I have no audience because you already know everything. Thanks to you, oh my God, thanks to Lord Krishna, he says, I am the apohanam in you all, he says, forgetfulness. So there is a certain achievement by repeating the idea from different angles. So what he is saying is, like the all-pervading space, the infinite, the all-pervading reality appears to be diverse on account of the association of the various equipments. Just like, even though he takes the example of space, imagine I have 3 different tumblers, red, blue, and green. When I pour water in the red, blue, and green tumbler, what do you see? For a moment, I thought it's an optical illusion. Ravi Kumar Garu is in 2 places. Which is real, which is unreal? Which is the imposition, which is the reality? Both sides I see the hand raising. This is a different level you have taken me to. So, sir, experimentation going on, huh? He's figuring out how Zoom works. Just a minute, sir. You'll be given the access. Can you unmute yourself? Are you able to? Now you have. You can speak now.
In one cell, I am not able to see my face. The audio with the video is not coming. So I switch on to another one. That's all.
Okay. But actually, we see you in 2 different frames. Yeah, we see you in 2 different frames.
In this case, it is not. I'm not able to see. That's the reason.
No, sir.
In another case, the audio is not working properly.
Never mind. No, as long as you're able to follow.
Yeah, I'm able to follow you, sir.
Right. No, my question is, you pour water into 3 different tumblers, red, blue, and green. I ask you, what do you see?
The same
Describe.
color.
How do you describe that? Simple English like how do you explain, sir? A child would see, hey, the water has become blue, the water has become green, the water has become yellow. Or red, doesn't matter the color. Red, blue, green. So the water appears red, appears blue, appears green because of its association with the upadhis, the conditioning, the equipments. But do the equipments condition the water? The water remains unconditioned. You break the upadhis, destroy the glasses, the water remains colorless. So the water only appeared blue, it did not turn blue. The water is colorless before, while, after. Before the association with the upadhis, while it's associating with the upadhis, after its association, it remains colorless, pure, immaculate. It is not conditioned by the conditioning element of the color of the tumbler. Exactly the same way, the all pervading space appears to be diverse. Now, what are the diverse expressions of the Brahman? Next verse, he spells it out. The thought flow continues to the next verse. But because of the association, what are the diverse expressions you see? Maniam Garu, solunga sir, what are the diverse expressions you see because of the association with the upadhis?
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om, sir. Sir, you have, could you unmute yourself?
Yeah. Everything that we see, the way we want to see, are all the diverse upadhis of Brahman. For example,
Hello.
the world of objects.
Upadhis of Brahman or upadhis of the world?
Upadhis of the world, yes. Brahman, we impose that. We impose
Correct.
whatever we want to, whatever we see.
Yes.
It could be the world of objects, the world of people, the world of animals, all these things, whatever we see.
So that
the space example is already well known. As we just create all the walls and all that, we have this space, that space and all that. One that is gone, it's just one space, that is all. The pots, everything you explained.
Correct.
Same way, we have...
Yeah, go ahead, please. Sorry, go ahead.
Same way, whatever I see in you, I see Guruji Vinayji there. That is my imposition. But then there is Brahman there. You see me here. That's Brahman here. Yeah. So this is what the great sage is trying to point out to us, that you try to see what is unseen, what is that transcendental reality.
Correct. So one thing, you got a couple of points here. One thing is, it appears to be conditioned.
Yes.
And the reality is, it is never conditioned.
Never conditioned. Yes.
It's only an appearance. Isn't it?
Yes.
The two things you get is, it appears to be conditioned. In reality, water is never conditioned. Space is indivisible. Yet you may put walls and create many other spaces, living space, lounge space, bedroom space, bathroom space, open space. All these are terminologies, but these don't divide space because space is indivisible. It's all pervading. Exactly the same way, the Brahman or the reality, the all pervading reality, appears to be diverse. And the principle that supports this argument, everything has a principle. So what's the principle that supports the argument?
Yeah. The subtlety.
Yes, the subtlety.
Subtlety.
So what is the principle
here?
here?
The space is subtle, and Brahman is beyond that also. So as we are able to just understand space from our own viewpoint and all, this going having gone beyond that, we cannot straight away perceive it. That's where a guru is required. That's where shastras are required, and we just have to experience it.
Correct, correct. So the principle I'm coming back to, sir, is you said subtlety. The gross cannot influence or control the subtle.
Yes,
It's
yes,
too subtle.
yes,
So gross cannot influence.
yes.
There's a quote often used in the context: "Stone walls not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage."
Yes, yes.
Stone walls not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage. What does it mean? You can only imprison the body in a cage or a
Cage.
prison, but you can't confine the thoughts and emotions of a person.
Yes.
So if you want to do a blessing, in fact, it's a blessing in disguise. If you have to imprison a philosopher or a thinker or a revolutionist, you just imprison him. All this great revolution happens from behind prison, isn't it? The great works they produced because they want just isolation, nobody disturbed, take care of food, boarding, lodging. That's all they need. They kept doing their writings. So their thoughts were beyond the walls of the prison or the cage. So the walls of the prison or the cage confine the body, but not your thoughts, because gross. Gross can only influence the gross. Gross cannot influence subtle. So if I have a physically fit body, does not influence the mind. It doesn't change the nature of my mind. Understand this. Physical yoga, when I do yoga at the physical level, it cannot change the nature of the mind. If I have a tamasic and a selfish mind, the mind remains tamasic and selfish. Physical exercise doesn't mend or mold the mind, which is also being marketed in the world today. Yoga is a solution for everything. Yoga is what? Physical yoga. And then they have many, many forms of yoga. This yoga, that yoga, marketing going on, big market. When you have a market, you market it, isn't it? In the various, this yoga, that yoga going on. But nobody understands that it can't, it's conducive, but doesn't control. So what we got to also take a note is all the multitude of expressions of beings. Does it divide Brahman? Does it divide the reality?
No.
Human population of 8 billion people. What is the number for other living beings?
Some
Harish,
78, 80.
with your scientific, sorry, I don't want to say that. But can little insight, what is the population of other living beings, sir?
Some 80 crores, I mean, much beyond our billions. If it is 7 billion, 8 billion here, the I don't know. I have, from what I saw, the little insecta class itself has got many times more than what we have. One small class, in one phylum.
So if you take the entirety, what's the number? We can't even give a number.
Yes, you can't even give.
So
But we haven't explored the sea at all.
Correct. No. Birds, bees, sea, everything you include, then there's no figure at all.
Yes.
Sir, if you weigh the ants alone, you weigh the ants, all the ants put together will outweigh all humans put together. If you weigh all 8 billion people on one side and all the ants, they will easily outweigh. This is science. This is what biology, through the research and things. I don't know how they've come to that conclusion. I do not know. Have they all weighed it to find out? I don't know. But how have they done that? But staggering. We're talking of just ants. Then you talk of all, my God, all the creatures that crawl, all the birds and the bees. Whew. All of this doesn't divide Brahman. So there is nothing called as Atma and Paramatma. Many people tell this Atman, when you die, merges with the Paramatman.
Yeah.
There is nothing that is divisible. There is only one God, one reality, one consciousness. There is nothing a part here and the whole there, and the part merges with the whole, and they're given that as Paramatma. They're given this as Atma. These are all concepts that float. Please, you got to be clear in your understanding. Atman is indivisible.
Yes.
The walls of your personality has not created this limited Atman and then the Paramatman. And then when this individuality dies, this Atman merges with the total Atman. Allah.
Nothing.
You don't have to be sold by such ideas. Be rational in your thinking, and then you'll be able to get clarity. So there's only one God, only one reality, one consciousness.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on. He continues the thought in the 11th.